Hello, how's it going? This is Jijo, your sensei. I don't know why I'm speaking like that. Today we're gonna be creating this.
Destination worldwide, yeah. I'm a man, I'm a prime, living, loving, writing. Son of Hilda, call me Viking. I'm as strong as a pillar.
How cool is that? Isn't that amazing? Alright, so basically what we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating this amazing teleportation effect. So keep in mind that this video is a little bit advanced. It gets into compositing. The software of choice today is going to be Fusion in DaVinci Resolve. We're going to be using the node-based compositing. I'm a nuke boy. My pedigree is in nuke, so it's going to be a little difficult for me, but regardless, we're going to power through it. It's a node-based compositing software. The names are a little bit different. The nomenclature is different. The way they flow is different. But if you understand the concept, you will figure where and what and how to do it. See, that's the thing I want to teach each and every one of you guys. I just don't want to teach you guys the tools. I want to teach you guys the concept as to how to go about, even if it's a new software. But as long as you understand the concept, you can problem solve yourself and kind of figure out how to do what to do. The main thing that I teach is the how and the why, not just like this is where the button is, this is where button B is. I'm going to teach you the entire 9 yards, the entire thing, and I'm going to be covering the why as well on each step, which is very, very important, because when you face a new problem, when you face a new issue, I don't want you guys to resolve to just watching another bunch of tutorials. I want you guys to be enabled with the knowledge and knowing where to go about it. All right, so anyway, let's dive in to the tutorial and then we'll move ahead from it. And yes, I did record this tutorial 2 years back, but it's still valid. Everything, there is no software change or anything. So what you're going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing a younger version of me, 2 years younger version of me. Please pardon the video quality in that, but I want you guys to focus on exactly what I'm doing in the tutorial, because the effect that you're going to be creating, I'm going to be going the extra mile to show you how small changes eventually add up to huge results. It's like the compounding effect in the stock market, you know? All right, so going back 2 years, you're going to see a different hairstyle, different me, but content, knowledge, fire. All right, see you guys in my studio, you know? So let's dive into DaVinci Resolve. All right, so as you can see over here, I have a timeline, and towards the end is we have me over here supposed to teleport. So this is nothing great. What I've done is I've just placed the character on top of the clean plate, and I've just put a cut. So that's all. This is what is supposed to happen, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go into the edit page, and at this particular sound. So let me just increase the levels over here. So if you hear the song, so at that point is when I want, boom, the character to teleport. Right now it isn't happening. It's because I kept a little bit leeway to work on the teleportation. So let's take a look. So we have from this cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 frames. So we have 14 frames to deal with. So that's why I kept it over here. And to see. Obviously you can see that I'm not actually present here, but we'll fix that once we go into the compositing. This is a fusion composition. So if you go over here, I'm just gonna go to open in timeline. And over here, if you see, I have 2 clips lined up on each other. So one is the character, and this is just the clean plate. So I've disabled this clip. This is the clean plate, and this is the character. So I've just kept on top of this. So alright, go to the final one. And what we're going to do is open Fusion. So select this clip, open Fusion. We can see over here that we have a pretty good node tree already made, because we already have layers. So remember which layer was on top. So for me, it was the character, and the bottom one was the clean plate. So I'm going to press 1 on the media 2, press 1 on the media 1. I'm actually going to disable these links first. So media 1 is, okay, that's the clean plate, and I'm going to press 2. So this is the output. Alright, so that is 2, this is 1. Alright, cool. So we're going to put the 2, which is the character, first. What we're going to do is we're going to rename this to a character, and this to the clean plate. Clean plate. Alright, So I'll move this to the background. Green is the background, I'm assuming. Alright, there you go. See, this is the thing in Nuke. It's written BGFG, so it's easier to know. Over here you have to kind of remember colors. So that's a little... Sometimes it's a small thing, but it is what it is. Alright, so this is 2. This is 2. Alright. So now I'm watching the output on the second monitor, and 1 is clean plate. So this is what it is. So like I said, we're gonna do something crazy and make it look good rather than and use the mask of the merge. Basically the merge node is the mastermind. It merges the two. But how the change happens between them, we're gonna animate it over time and showcase how the teleportation will work. So basically we're gonna blend it together but in a different way. So for the way we're gonna do it is also I have this one on, which is basically the spline, because when you animate it you want to make sure you follow the animation principles of teleportation, because even though it's not a real thing, you still need to follow the physics of it, right? Somewhat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this thing called fast noise. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Fast noise. There you go. Just want it by itself. So if I take a look at, I'm just gonna open it 2 screens and 1. So basically I like to keep my work files over here on this side, and my output to be over here on 2 and 3, which is third is my clean feed monitor. So okay, so fast noise, if you take a look at it, it's pretty much nothing's happening. I'm like, what is this? So what I want to do is I'm going to increase the seed rate. I'm going to maybe do it like a 0.6. So now if you like take a look at it, you see there's movement over here, but you can't really see the movement. So that's why I'm just going to scale it up. So now you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. So just do like an 11.65. Yeah. Alright. So you can see the movements over here. So the check marks are basically the background, which is, this is on a transparent layer. So the white is solid, black is also solid, the check marks is transparent. So if I increase the contrast, you'll be able to see like, okay, so these check marks are basically transparent. So like these white thingies is what is there. So what we're going to do is, since I'm teleporting out, we need to first have the character be solid. So we're going to have complete white and decrease the contrast all the way to 0. So we're going to go from complete white to complete transparent. So we're going to animate that. And in between of the animation, we're going to see stuff where it moves around. So like that. So you see that? So basically this, I want this to affect the merge node. How do I do that? So in the merge node, there's this thing called an effect mask. So I take the fast noise, I put it to the merge. Boom. So you see how I've already taken this fractal noise and kind of gone into this thingy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate it. So like I said, from solid white to complete transparent. So remember we counted 14, right? So our goal is to reach here, right here. So from 0, so again, solid white. So what we're going to do is we're going to go brightness all the way up, contrast all the way 0. So solid white, as you can see over here as well, the character is completely full. So I want to add 2 keyframes. And if you go over here, and you'll see 2 keyframes are already added to contrast and brightness. Now 14 is where I should be completely gone. At least it's a whoop, that sound, remember? So I'm just going to hit Command S. And I'm just going to go to edit page real quick just to play it one more last time. So boom. Right there. Alright, perfect. Back to Fusion. Alright, so we go to number 1. Fast noise. Go 1 frame to the first frame. So it's a solid white. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to move. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 frames. I'm going to increase the contrast just a tiny little bit. Tiny little bit. Decrease the brightness like that. And go like that. But not that much. I'm just going to start it like right there. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this time. So 9th frame. We're going to make it vanish a little bit more. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go like that. And then since there's a little overlay, there's So we're going to make it tether around a little bit. Basically, this is where you use your animation principles, because most people would just end it like that, start and end. But I'm trying to play with the physics of how the teleportation is going away. So I'm going to go, and 14, I can see my keyframe is over here for the brightness, but the contrast has been the same. So at 14, what we're going to do at 16 instead, we're going to, so this is basically the follow through motion. So at 17 right now, so I can see the frame number right here, is I'm going to decrease the contrast to 0. So you can see now the entire animation. So if you look, the contrast goes high up and all the way down. So these are very pointy stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go like that, press S to smooth it out, or you can press the Bezier curve. Sorry, in Resolve it's called smooth, but in animation it's called a Bezier curve, especially coming from Maya. So I press S, smooth out the motions, easing the motions out, and there you go. So now I just hit a save, and then if I take a look, so this time I'm just gonna go once so you don't get distracted. So we're just gonna move frame by frame. So there you go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There you go, 17. So we have a teleportation right there. So let's do a playback. Let's see whether our timing was right, whether our calculations was right. Let's do a playback. It's gonna remove the media pool. Not bad, huh? Look at that. So that's done. Now, moving on to a better step, something more fun. So we know our animations are all the way from 0 to now 17. 17 if I'm not wrong. So in case you want to know where the keyframes are, you just press the keyframes. You can see exactly where your keyframes are. So you can just take a look right here and just go all the way over here. So you can see the keyframes are right here, in case you're ever confused. I'm going to keep this off because I like working with curves. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something called a dent. So the way I'm doing the teleportation is I'm making a dent in the universe and I'm vanishing rather than just disappearing. So I'm trying to go into a different dimension. So I'm going to use dent, add that. Now look at that. That's creating some crazy stuff. So I'm not going to use this anymore. I'm just going to go with 1. So basically I'm going to dent it out over here. I'm just gonna zoom out just a little bit, and so right there, I'm gonna dent it out. So we don't want that, right? So I'm just gonna make the strength 0. So I want to kind of see what I'm doing. All right, so I don't want that much big, but maybe right here, right where my. All right, cool. This is good. This is nice. Alright, so let's take a look at where my noise starts coming. So if you take the fast noise, we see that at frame, if I open this up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at 4th frame, I start disappearing. So that's when the dent needs to start coming as well. So the size is the same. We're not gonna animate the size because I'm just teleporting right here. So I'm gonna do a save. So I'm gonna do a keyframe on the strength, so you can see the strength with the red gets keyframed out. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 frames in. I'm gonna decrease the strength just a little bit because I'm getting sucked into another dimension, right? So just like that. So 0.05 again. Be easy with it. Don't go too harsh. So 0.05 means a lot of dent. Don't go ahead and choose like, oh, it's not even 1. Let me just go crazy. Don't do that. Minus 0.05 is more than enough. Trust me. So I added a keyframe. So boom, boom, boom. So just like that. Let me just go back 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go again 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'll add just. Maybe what I'll do is, since I am still vanishing technically, right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add, basically take this keyframe and move it just to that particular direction. add over here minus 0.05. Alright, so we see the dent moving to, sorry, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we go 1, 2, 3, almost done. I'm almost gone. So again, I'm getting sucked in. So I increase the dent just a little bit like that. Then go back again, 1, 2, 3. So this is where I'd follow through motion. People would usually, you can just do a 0 and get it over with, but we're going to go that extra step, follow the principles of animation, add that secondary motion and follow through motion. So we're going to go with a little bit lower depth. So this time 0.02. Actually, let's go 0.3. And then we go 3 frames. And then we add 0. So if you take a look at the overall graph, it goes like that. So now this one, we can kind of maybe move it to just like 1 notch here and just see how that works. So let's smooth these out. Let's add some nice smoothness to these. I'm just pressing S. Now, if I take a look frame by frame, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, boom, boom. So at 18 we're stopping. But so you see how we calculated 14, but then we move all the way to 18. It's because the 4 frames are extra. Because when you punch, your shirt is still following through, right? Your hair is still following through. Your legs are still following through. So that motion needs to be calculated. So let's take a look and see how this looks. Don't forget to save. All right. There you go. See how it gets sucked into the dimension? You see that bloop, that bounce? That's what makes or breaks any sort of animation. Animation is the key. So maybe the way I can improve this is I can add 1 more. So let's go over here to frame number 18. So instead of being 0, so we go in, then we can go just a little bit out, right? Just a tiny little bit. 0.2, and then 2 frames later we do 0. You'll see why this will make a difference. So I added 1 more smoothness. Let's check it out. Save, edit, boom. You see that? You see that last little bit? See that? That last bulge? See, this is what makes your animation sellable. That's the most important thing. Alright. Alright, so this looks very good. Oh, sorry, this is not what I meant to do. Alright, there you go. Alright. So now I'm happy. I'm happy with the animation that's happening. There you go. Perfect. Alright, now all we need to do is we need to add some light. Because if I'm gonna be going to a different dimension, I need to kind of showcase that some aura needs to pop up, right? So let's add that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this spline for now. I'm gonna just keep this in the center and kind of move that right here. Maybe I can just do scale to fit and move that up. So I want to see everything that I'm doing. So there you go. Alright, so what I'm going to add right here is I'm going to add, let's move this down. Alright, so I'm going to add right here, I'm going to add this thing called light rays. Boom. So now light rays is basically rays of light. Apple juice time. No, I'm dry. Anyway, so yeah, light rays. So now it's affecting the whole footage, as you can see. We don't want that. We want it to affect only the character. So what I want to do is I'm going to add a mask, add a polygon, something very simple, nothing too crazy. So I'm just going to add a mask over here. What that will do is boop, boop. So now the mask is just affecting the character. But now if you take a look at it, it's very ragged edged, right? So, like it's very sharp edged. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the edge, soften it out a little bit, right? We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go to light rays, and what I want to do is I am going to increase the brightness a tad bit, just a tad bit. Easy does it, always remember, baby steps. Source threshold, I'm going to increase it over there like that, and color, it's going to do red, because that's the stylization that we've chosen, that's the stylization, the color palette of this music video. So I'm just going to maybe take the brightness just a little bit down, 0.32. Alright, save it. So you see the light right here. So we're gonna go frame by frame. Boop, 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 pa, pa, pa. And the reason why it goes away is because it's a mask. We've only masked that part. And since I'm not there in the animation, the light automatically goes. So I do not have to animate the light because the animation is already taken care by the merge node, which is affected by the noise as a mask. So I didn't have to mask that out. So this is what long-term thinking is from a technicality standpoint. So now, I don't want the light to be immediately visible, so I want it to start like right there. So I'm going to animate the light just a little bit. I don't have to animate the mask. So I'm just going to put a source threshold right here, and we're on frame 0, go to, so no source threshold, so like 0, and go boom, 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 right there. So if I want, I can just take a look at where the dent starts. So it starts right there. Actually, it starts over here, but I want to start the light at frame 4. Go right there. There's a light, and then boom, 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 boom. So now if I take a look at the, so I'm gonna turn off dent, turn off the polygon. Just take a look at the light. There you go. That's the light. Smooth that out. Smooth that out. Classic opposite S curve. So now I take a look at that. Save it. Boop, 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 boop. There you go. Look at that. Oof. Now doesn't that look beautiful? Playback. There you go. Look at that. Perfect. Alright. Now, most people will agree that this is really nice. I am not satisfied. I need to add something else. So what I did is I have some assets over here, which is a shockwave. Basically what this is basically this. It's just that. So when you're teleporting, when you're going into a different dimension, you need to showcase that smoke, you know? Especially even the sound does it. So I'm gonna add that shockwave. So luckily, I've already done a couple of shockwaves, which is right here. So I'm just gonna hold Alt, and I'm gonna drag it out over here. Right. So basically, what this is it's a shockwave, and if I open the inspector, I'm just gonna do normal for a second so that you understand. So basically, it's like it's just this, right? I'm just gonna take out the rotate, transform also. Yeah, so you understand. So this is the shockwave. This is red. Reason being, I'll tell you why. So what I've done is I put another fusion composition. So I went to fusion. All I did was I added a color corrector node, and I just put the master to red. So if you make it to white, you can do it to white. If you make it to red, you can, since my color palette is red, I'm moving even that to red. So now I go back to my edit page. So it's red. I want to see how I look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opacity, decrease it a little bit, and maybe zoom in the shockwave a little bit more. Maybe rotate it just like that. Just like that. Position it right here. Zoom in it a little bit more. Like that. Because I want to be in between the shockwave. Right? So like that. I want that to happen. So obviously you can see this black border. It's because we don't have a composite mode. So these shockwaves are pre-matted, which means if you just add a normal screen, it should just take it out automatically. So obviously this won't work, so I'm just gonna delete this. Deleted, just disabling it. So we want the effect to kind of right there, like that's when the smoke should come, because when you blast something is when the smoke arrives, right? So right when I vanish at the Dent, right there is when I want it to start. So let's see how that looks. There you go. Do you see that? Do you see what that does? The difference it makes? Yes. Now, this is what makes it sellable. I keep telling, always think that it's not over, it's not over, it's not over. Think more, think ahead. Now, you would say this is over, but it's not over. I'll tell you why. Physically, based on physics, I am inside the studio room, right? So the smoke can't really just populate right here. It needs to be inside the room. This part is okay, but this is not right. So we need to make sure that the smoke remains inside and doesn't come out straight, right? So we need to mask that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to fusion. We're going to go to the smoke. I'm just going to rename it to smoke. And I'm going to add a polygon. And basically I'm just going to do that. Just a simple circle. And I'm going to invert it because I want to remove part of the smoke. So I'm going to take a look over there, save it, and see where that disappears. Okay. So it's disappearing right there. So we need to move on the left side, like on this side. So that's the bottom part when you go over there. So the bottom part is where we need to move it. So I'm just going to rotate it. Rotate it like that. Move it up and out. So let's see if that makes a difference. And enable. Okay, so that's too much. So let's do it one more time. Let's just move a little bit out. Select the polygon, moving a little bit out like that. Alright, too much sharpness, right? So what we're gonna do is just gonna hold the polygon right there, move it out just a little bit. Rotate it just like that, hopefully, and I'm going to soften the edge just like that. Let's see how that looks. There you go. So some part is still kind of visible, like this part is still visible. So let me just, so again, this is something, a little bit of a trial and error that you kind of need to do. Maybe the edge one was too much, so I'll just decrease it just a little bit, just like that. Put it up like that. There you go. Save it. Take a look. Made a difference. There you go. There you go. Now it looks like I'm inside. There you go. And that's how you do a quick teleportation. Boop. Oh. You think it's over? It's not. One more thing. I forgot. Alright. Sound effect. I already have sounds. So I'm just gonna go like that. And right where the dent appears, right there, I'm just gonna put this right there. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, too much. See how it sounds? Alright. There you go. Maybe what I want to do is I'm going to decrease this just a tiny little bit. 2 levels down. Maybe a little bit more. There you go. Just a tiny little bit. Again, easy steps. Just nudge it a little bit, frame by frame. No, nudge it back. Nudge it just a little bit. There you go. And now it's done. So if I take a look. Right here.
C'est pour toi. Merci.
Welcome back 2 years later in 2023. So yeah, that's how you do a teleportation. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you guys had a good time. Honestly, never ever stop until you are 1000% sure that this is the output that you want. Sometimes what happens in the creativity field is that you tend to get lazy. You be like, this looks good, you know what, there's gonna be a sense that you're gonna start lying to yourself, like just because you're tired, you're gonna be like, oh, this is fine, you know what, I can ignore this, I can ignore that. Don't do that. Take a break, go grab a cup of coffee, or like just call it for a day. But when you come next day, you're gonna want to do it. But what I'm trying to say is don't stop. Don't submit it to your supervisor, don't submit it to your director. Rather focus and take some time, but make sure the quality, it's that extra mile that you go that makes it look extraordinary. That's what the whole tutorial is about. If you see, like, step by step, I made sure that I'm going that extra mile. Even if it's follow through motion, I took that extra step to make that extra bulge, the extra bulge. I added more lights, I added more sound effects. It's the sound, the music already did a lot for me, but that sound effect, even if it's that the little effect, that added a lot to it eventually. So those are the things that actually will help you guys a lot to give that finesse, to give that X factor into your work, no matter what you do. Even if it's shot planning, even if it is just lighting, it's that extra step that matters. All right guys, so honestly, thank you guys for your time. I know this was a long tutorial. I know you guys want results fast, but this is something where you need to be patient with yourself, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. It is you guys who are going to be watching, who are going to be following, and who are going to eventually understand why patience in this game, the filmmaking game, is hella important. All right, again, thank you so much. If you really like what you see, hit that like, tell the YouTube algorithm to come watch my videos for the people who you know, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much, it means a lot.